Hello, how's it going, everyone? Welcome to another Breathe Pulse. My name is Carly.
I'm Jenny.
Tonight we're broadcasting from Jenny's lovely home in Middle Georgia, and we are going to breathe into 2020. Okay, so 2020 is crystal clear vision. So this is the year that the world is in focus, and of course, with everything that's going on, we also have to be in touch with our breath. What more appropriate platform to have this conversation than a breathe pulse? So much that it actually inspired the topic of conversation. So, we're going to have an astrological overview of the headliners of 2020, just because you can't talk about what's going to come at the end of the year, a great exhale, without talking about why we're all holding our breath right now. And because this is such an intense conversation, beautiful Jenny here.
I'm going to be taking us through a few breathers, is what we're going to call these. Just little breaks throughout Carly's little journey of 2020 and what it holds. So look out for those.
So let's start by taking a deep breath. You should definitely join us at home every time we do that. And I took a ton of notes and I reserve the right to peek.
Yes.
Okay, so the reason for our title, Breathe into 2020, was definitely inspired by this beautiful lady. But it's actually threefold. All right, so to begin with the obvious, coronavirus is an airborne illness which attacks the lungs. And as a result of this wonderful thing, we're all forced to wear face masks whenever we go into public. And if you are anywhere that it is humid now in America, you might be wondering why you're all of a sudden a mouth breather, or just wondering why it's so difficult to breathe. All right, so also this year, all of the demonstrators are declaring, I can't breathe. And third, the North Node is transiting through the sign of Gemini. The North Node is like a big spotlight or magnet, and it draws all the energy to it. And Gemini rules the respiratory system, and it's also dualistic. If you haven't noticed, a lot of two-sided divisions have come up this year. And at Breathe, the gathering, we like to focus on balance. So, Jenny, will you start us off with some balancing breath exercises?
Absolutely. So one of my favorite ways to balance the brain, balance the body, is using Nadi Shodhana, which is an alternate nostril breath. And at home, all you need is a comfortable seat. Just kind of elevate the spine a little and settle in. Take a couple of breaths leading from the diaphragm. No need to really settle in just yet. Let the shoulders drop. And then we're going to create a shape with our hands that I like to call hang ten. And don't focus so much on the placement of your hands. Just make sure that you have two fingers to cover. Thumb covers one side, and the pinky will alternate to the other side. So in this way, we're going to be taking air through one side, letting it out, and then bringing it back into the other side and letting it out. So we'll switch sides. Get a comfortable seat. If you want to close your eyes here, it's fine. I'll guide you through it. So let's start with whatever hand you have. Make sure that your thumb, or let's start with the right hand, excuse me. Right thumb on right nostril. All right, once you settle in, take a deep inhale through the left nostril. Inhale. Exhale. Cover the left nostril. Inhale. Exhale. 10 rounds of this. Cover the right nostril. Inhale. Exhale. Cover the left nostril. Inhale. Exhale. Let's alternate. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Alternate. 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 Last one. Inhale. Exhale. Last side. Inhale. Exhale. Shake it out. If that felt like a little bit of work, that's okay. We're having to balance each side, demonstrating this live.
You did great.
Thank
That's
you.
amazing.
Thank
I
you.
feel so much more grounded and ready to go on with this next segment now. All right, so personally, I actually stuck with astrology because as a newbie who couldn't even read charts, I jumped to see what was happening in 2020. I was like, oh my God, so much in the sign of Capricorn. And basically seeing a whole pile of planets, I decided to ride that pony into town. And now I can talk about it, which is good. So a lot of people who I've been talking to in the business world have been like, well, you never could have predicted coronavirus. And it's like, you're right. You couldn't have predicted that thing exactly. Is my hair look terrible right now? Yes. Help. It's all backwards. Anyways, but in the world of astrology, we were all highly anticipating something. I thought it might be World War III, which it kind of is.
It feels like that for sure.
And that's because on January 11th, 1/11 of 2020, we had what I believe is called the grand conjunction of Saturn and Pluto in the sign of Capricorn. So we're going to break this down, but first, throughout history, Saturn was conjunct Pluto when World War I began. Saturn was square Pluto when World War II began. Saturn was opposite Pluto when 9/11 happened. And those are the primary aspects that you can make in astrology: a conjunction, a square, and an opposition. There are others, but those are the big ones. So here we are again in 2020, and Saturn has already come into conjunction with Pluto in the sign of Capricorn. So I don't forget to talk about this later. You should also know at the beginning that while they were making this grand meetup, which they only did once, so we're kind of lucky, it was also on top of the South Node in the sign of Capricorn. So I just mentioned the North Node in the sign of Gemini, which draws energy to it. You want to go wherever the North Node is in your chart. The South Node dissipates energy. You want to not go where the South Node is in your chart, although we have a tendency to also place a lot of focus on it, because if there is one magnet up here, there's another magnet down here drawing all the attention. So in my mind, I feel like we opened Pandora's box and all the monsters came out screaming. Anyways, Saturn and Pluto. Wait, that was intense. Let's take a breather. Can we just take like one deep breath?
Yes, just take a deep breath in.
Okay, it just feels good to do that.
Mm-hmm. It does.
The benefits, it clears the mind.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so both Saturn and Pluto represent the end, and they're both known as being the devil. Here they are coming together. So the sign of Capricorn is known for structures that we agree upon societally. Structures like school systems, financial systems, governmental systems. Did I say religious? Religious organizations. All of these things that large groups agree upon, that is found in the sign of Capricorn. So the South Node is in the sign of Capricorn, saying, all right, these things that we all agree upon, they need to go. Then these two devils that mark the end of the road come crashing in and they're like, let's just make that happen for you. Okay. So Saturn is the disciplinarian of the zodiac. I like to play a game called Saturn Says because you can't get anywhere in life.
Are we going to play this now?
No.
Okay.
But you do want to see what Saturn's doing in your chart and do that. I don't know how else to explain it. See what sign and house he's in, and that's where you want to focus on leveling up in your life because one, now we're getting personal, Saturn represents skills that you have, but two, also where you're probably not applying them and need to work a little harder in the chart. So when Saturn comes around anywhere, he shows us where we need to work harder. He's typically the father figure or the most dominating parent in your chart if it doesn't happen to be your father. He likes hard boundaries, hard work, rules, discipline, integrity. Like a great symbol for him is the Great Wall of China. He is an unforgiving authority figure. If you've ever had a run-in with the law,
I guess that means she's had.
at least with TSA, you would know that like they don't care when they're taking your stuff. You know, like it's unforgiving. You have to follow the rules or else you're going to get the punishment.
Mm-hmm.
That is Saturn. He is also the father who is known for eating his own children. Ah! Okay, so that's Saturn. The other thing that you should know about Saturn is that he is likened to Ganesh. Who's Ganesh?
Ganesh is the elephant god
And what does he do?
of what the destroyer.
No.
Of what?
He opens doors.
Opens doors. Yeah.
So Ganesh opens doors, but because he's known for opening doors, he can also
shut them.
Yes.
Yes.
Keep them closed.
Mm-hmm.
So Saturn and Ganesh are just like that, where if you are willing to do the work and step it up, Saturn will open doors for you. And if you're not doing the work,
It's going to slam them shut.
just like that.
Okay.
Saturn returns happen at 29.5 years, and that's when we get to step into adulthood. All right, Saturn's kind of intense. Can we take one more deep breath?
We are going to take a deep breath.
Before we talk about Pluto.
Yes, let me tell you guys a little bit about the benefits of the alternate nostril breathing, because I think that the focus really comes with the mental clarity that we build from cleansing the lungs. So that's really, really an important benefit that I needed to share with you guys. It enhances the lung function, but it also cleanses it. Temperature regulation, because if you're in the southeast or anywhere that's hot, it's really hot right now. But yeah, just keep this note on hand, these little benefits of the Nadi Shodhana, and we'll get to another breath after Pluto.
We didn't have time to rehearse this, so.
No, it's fine, you know, because we're just here breathing with all our lovely breathers.
Oh my god.
All right, Pluto.
Pluto's the great transformer of the zodiac. Okay. I like to call him the compost heap, which is a nice way to think about it. But if you think about compost, we are throwing away our waste and it is being broken down into things that become useful again. Fertile soil.
Right.
Like many other astrologers before me, I was initiated into astrology through a Pluto transit.
Okay.
I know.
What does this look like?
We're not going to talk about all the details. But in 2008, when Pluto entered the sign of Capricorn, our economy crashed. Right around the same time that I was graduating college. There were some other more Pluto things happening at the time. We'll describe Pluto in a minute. But he's an initiator into things. Breathe. Okay, so when you have a Pluto transit, heavy Pluto transit, you know, because you could become depressed. You might have brushes with dark forces outside of yourself. He's known for being a rapist. Pluto is also known for power struggles, right? He rules power and the sign of Scorpio, and Scorpio is actually known for giving away their power. It's like the little finger who gave all their power to the king, but they, you know, have it on the back end to do it with themselves. Okay, so because I know so much about Pluto, I've actually changed his name from the Prince of Darkness to the King of Rise and Shine. Because while Pluto is the sort of dude who will pull you under and make you think that there is no light of day any longer, the whole point is for you to recognize that you have a light within and to change what it is about your reality that's going to help you shine brighter. So that's what Pluto does.
I learned a lot from this chick.
Oh my god. Okay, so Pluto rules Scorpio, as I've already said. Scorpio is known for hiding truths, right? Like they're just good at hiding. Pluto people like to, they'll keep things in weird places. But Pluto, however, when he goes through signs, he reveals truths. So a really raunchy example of this is when Pluto entered the sign of Capricorn. That is also when we began to learn about pedophilia in the Catholic Church. And I'm sure there were other things. But he takes away things that don't hold up to Saturn's level of integrity. And that's why the economy crashed, because it wasn't working for the good of all. So while these dudes can be evil, end of the roads, they want what's good for all at heart. More notes. Can we take a breather?
Take a deep breath.
Do you want to do another breath?
Yeah, I think this is a really great time. Yeah, Pluto kind of really went dark there.
He's dark.
Yeah. And let's think. So let's talk a little bit about the Ujjayi breath, which if you've practiced in a heated yoga studio, it's also known as an ocean breath. But another aspect about the Ujjayi breath is it's focused on the nostril breathing. And because we've been living with this cover over our face for seems like all of this year, we're doing a lot of mouth breathing. And when the yoga studios start to open, when the world starts to open back up and we have to share space again, I'm sure it's going to be slowly, it's going to just trickle in just a little bit at a time, still keeping 6 feet distance or however this is going to go. But our breath is going to change in the environments that we're in. We can't just breathe out and let it all go, because we have to worry about all these other molecules in the air that can cause us illness. So nostril breathing is a really good thing to begin to build a practice with. And these are all pranayama practices that you can do at home in the safety of your space. You can do them in your car, as long as you don't close your eyes. So the Ujjayi breath focuses on inhaling through the nose, exhaling out of the nose, but keeping a soft constriction in the back of your throat. Now, when I practice around my kids, they call this the Darth Vader breath. And the reason why it's also called ocean breath is because as you begin to breathe in, it turns into this audible experience. So we're going to sit here and just do 10 rounds. I should have cued that in the beginning of our first breath. But we're going to sit with Ujjayi. And one more tip is I want you to think of fogging up your mirror in front of you without opening your mouth. So that's going to be the sensation coming from the back of your throat, but you keep your lips closed. So again, find that comfortable seat and let's get started. Inhale. Exhale. We'll do these inhales for 4 counts. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. 3 more. Inhale. Exhale. Last one. Inhale. Exhale. And just relax where you are. This breath helps regulate the heating in our bodies. So that's why we often practice this in a hot yoga room or in a heated practice. But I also like to share it within my yin classes that I teach. It creates a soft warmth that you only need a little bit of. It slows the pace of your breath. It cleanses the body, helps to regulate your lungs, work to have that body awareness. So I hope that's one that you can keep. And I hope you kind of heard some of that Darth Vader through the audio.
Yeah, can you hear that?
You know, we're really trying to project it to you guys. But that's an Ujjayi breath, also known as the cooling breath.
Okay, so that reminded me of a thing that I wanted to talk about at the beginning. What is prana?
What is prana? That is the vital life force that we breathe in. So if you're a breather, if you know a breather, you know there's a lot of that floating around. Not only is it our vital life force, but it's the universal energy, the flow around you. And you can radiate to others by sharing the gift of breath. And, you know, it's not just something that you feel coming through you, but it's also something that you can see. I see it, you know, when we teach classes, I see it in bodies. I notice it in my kids when we need to take a moment and take a breath. Take 5 if you need it. But it's important to notice when the body just needs to stop and to regenerate some of that life force. But with prana comes the apana, and that's the grounding force. So without a stable space for you to practice your breath work, without having that grounding within your body, you know, your feet rooted or it's your seat, even if you're crisscrossed in a chair, as long as you're settled and you can grow your roots, that's where the breath can really come in. All right, what's next?
I just want to close up on that because it goes back to the title of our segment, Breathe into 2020. I feel like Saturn and Pluto in Capricorn and everything that we're experiencing, like we really have to work harder to get in touch with our breath, our life force. I feel like I can't quite put a note to it right now, and I feel bad because we're here to talk about it. And I don't want to, it kind of feels like that is under attack in many ways, right? Like,
It is.
Yeah.
It's very attacked. You know, everyone in the world right now is declaring that they can't breathe. So there's a lack of
life force,
of energy. And if we can really harness this pranayama, this practice of breath work, and put the time into how that can build more awareness in our communities, awareness in your bodies, awareness in your home, just mental clarity. This shit is not okay. It's not okay.
Okay.
And I want to promote and try to share this breath work as much as I can. And
Oh, good. Save
Yeah.
that for later.
yes, absolutely. Stretch it out, spread it out. That's what the prana does.
Keep breathing. Just keep breathing. I know. Jessica, hello.
Hey, lady.
I'm glad you're here.
Yes.
All right, so only to further emphasize the importance of this Saturn conjunct Pluto-ness in current historical facts, all last year in 2019, these two planets were sort of dancing around each other. And I felt like we were headed towards the Armageddon. Like, if you paid attention to the news, the Amazon, Australia, California, they were all on fire. The world was actually on fire. Hong Kong was on fire because people there were protesting against China's regime. I'm not supposed to mention this one, but Jeffrey Epstein was arrested and wound up dead before he got to release any of those secrets that he may have given away in court. And a US president was brought to impeachment, although it didn't pass. So, I mean, I feel like all of this was sort of a good example of the churning of things before the actual conjunction hit.
That's a lot of chaos.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of
Yeah, a great buildup. Anyways, so what I like about their conjunction is that they did it at 22 degrees Capricorn. If you notice, the calendar is 7/22. You can't study astrology without dipping your toes into the world of numerology because they kind of go hand in hand. And 22 is the master peacemaker number. It is one of my favorite numbers because peacemakers, right? So Oprah and Gandhi are my go-to 22 peacemakers.
I didn't know that.
I'm here to tell you. Yes. And you make the peace by speaking about uncomfortable truths, whereas peacekeepers keep the peace by holding it all inside.
Say that again.
So a peacemaker, you make the peace
Okay.
by speaking about things that are hard to talk about.
Yeah.
And a peacekeeper keeps the peace
By
keeping it all inside.
okay.
Yeah.
I think we need more.
We need to breathe more.
And rally the peacemakers.
Yeah. But if you keep those things inside, one, you're holding your breath. You might pick up smoking because you're trying to keep your truths down. And Saturn and Pluto have their own very, like, particular sort of punishments for that. Like, when people have things attacking their body, it's usually because, what do they say? You're only as sick as your secrets. Anyways, so I really want to share with you the symbol of 22 degrees Capricorn because I feel like that is uplifting a little bit given everything that we're experiencing. And it is a prophet carrying tablets of the new law walking down the slopes of Mount Sinai. And it talks about the need to bring down to the level of everyday existence the clear realizations that have been made manifest in the great peak aha experience. And my side note to that is, but no old regime will go down without a fight. Of course. Okay, so, oh shoot, I was supposed to keep that actually. Just threw away a note. Anyways, okay, so I also just need to tell you that throughout this year, Jupiter has also entered the sign of Capricorn, and after Saturn and Pluto made their conjunction, Jupiter, who I feel like you have to say with trumpets, Jupiter, I don't know how to say it with trumpets. She's got the trumpets. He just magnifies everything. So the easiest way to say it is Jupiter and Pluto, for the rest of this year after Saturn and Pluto did their one, like, aha handshake, Jupiter came in and he's been dancing with Pluto. So it's like amplifying the transformation.
Yeah.
Kicking up the dirt and sending out all that government money. Right?
Mhm.
Jupiter is known as the great benefic of the zodiac because he is known for bringing blessings. However, he only follows the law of attraction, which will bring you whatever it is that you are already doing, thinking. So if you keep a positive mindset, practice your breath work, are willing to share with others, he will give back to you tenfold. Tenfold. That's the thing. But when he's hanging out with Pluto, he's just revving up the transformation and saying,
Stirring up the chaos.
maybe now's a good time to check into therapy
Mm.
if you haven't already. Okay, so the exhale that is coming up this year. Do you have another breath work you want to do?
I do have another breath work.
Okay, she has one more breath work she wants to do.
I kind of think that this is super appropriate now because that needs a little cooling. Like let's cool all of this down and find a way to bring it back. So Shatali, however, it's Shatali breath is also known as the cooling breath. So this is one that we use. We're actually using the breath coming through our mouth. This is the only real mouth breathing one that we have, but we're creating a small, narrow passageway for the breath to come in. And the benefits of the cooling breath are it helps to reduce fatigue. It actually moistens the air that comes through your body, so it kind of helps to hydrate you as well. Bad breath, fevers can actually be reduced. I mean, I'm not saying, if you have a fever from the virus.
No, this is actually good.
Yeah, this is good, but, I mean, you still probably need to quarantine and do your thing. But let's use the cooling breath to keep that fever at bay. I don't know. I was trying to be a little.
It's okay.
Okay. So let's sit with your head, neck, and spine pretty much in alignment. So you're going to sit tall. There's 2 ways to do this. So if you can create a curl or a taco with your tongue that looks like this.
We're being vulnerable here.
Yes,
For
very,
you.
very vulnerable. This is a really good one though. So, and we won't do this for 10 full rounds, just a few, so we don't get too many screenshots taken of us. I'll do it. Shit, I just said that out loud. Okay. All right. So if you cannot do this at home, then, which some of us can't, it's just, it's your tongue. It's actually skin underneath your tongue that keeps you from being able to curl it. If that is you at home, then I want you to make a small opening with your mouth as if you're sipping a drink through a straw, and make sure that the back or your tongue is resting at the back of your teeth. Like right there. So you'll be pulling it in like this. And then you'll exhale out the nose. So as you inhale, close the mouth, exhale out the nose. And your tongue only comes out about 3/4 of an inch. Inhale. Exhale. Let's do 3 more. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. I almost made it, guys.
You did it.
Yes. So, on top of all of the benefits of this breath work, all of them can bring you a calm mind.
Yeah.
You might not want to do it Facebook Live and share this, except you do want to share this breath. You want to share this breath. When you see someone just heated, they're foaming out of their ears, you go
In their face.
yeah, just yeah. Maybe you're wearing a mask and they'll never know it. But hey.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. What was I gonna say? Oh yeah. Okay. So before we move on to the final exhale, my succinct point for what I feel Saturn conjunct Pluto, conjunct the South Node, with some Jupiter in the sign of Capricorn is like whatever it is, do it 110% and throw out whatever's not working for you. And hanging out with my friends and listening to everyone's personal stories, I feel like in our individual lives, like our cages are getting rattled just to be like, you know, what else can we shake off? Right? And it's like, Saturn really wants you to up level. In the sign of Capricorn, he wants you to up level times 1,000. Now's the time. Anyways, so the grand finale, the big exhale of this year, which we all get to look forward to, is actually known as the Great Conjunction, which is Jupiter conjunct Saturn in the sign of Aquarius at 0 degrees. Do it. We have a musical accompaniment. So Jupiter Saturn conjunctions happen about every 20 years, and it tends to mark a new point in history. So Jupiter magnifies everything, and Saturn can open or shut doors. But the reason why I'm saying do it to it 110% is because at the winter solstice, December 21st of 2020 is when the Jupiter-Saturn conjunction happens. And I feel like the planets are so wise because things always happen in very synchronistic form when it comes to them. Like, they go, Mercury was retrograde on both of the tax days this year. How insane is that? Anyways. So it could be like a really great opening of doors. And people who I know who have Mercury conjunct Saturn in their charts, Jupiter conjunct Saturn in their charts, they are magnificent manifestors. If you know what your plan of action is, or at least what your desired outcome is, and you start making strategic plotting steps towards it now, by December 21st of this year, the doors could just swing open to you. And then the other thing that astrologers really like to talk about is that historically, whatever leader is in power during a Saturn-Jupiter conjunction is killed or dies while in office. The last two presidents both had assassination attempts on their lives.
Holy.
I'm only saying that because everyone likes to talk about it. But it really is supposed to be a new period in history. I don't think it will be like it's all over. But the fact that it's in the sign of Aquarius, so when Saturn stepped into Aquarius the first time, that's when we went quarantine in America. Aquarius is the sign of groups. It is people protesting in the streets. But it really, like all the planets, wants what's good for the whole. The sign of Aquarius or the 11th house typically rules like nonprofit organizations, things that serve the group. It's supposed to be, what is it? The cherry on top of the year. It's the astrological cherry on top of the year. And I'm telling you now so you can be prepared. And the astrological symbol for that, Sabian symbol, is an old adobe mission in California. And the meaning behind it is the power inherent in all great human works to endure far beyond the lifespan of the people who created it. Da-da-da-da. Things to look forward to. Build a new age. One more deep breath. We're at 42 minutes. We're going to finish this up. I want to let you all know that for the last week that I have been staying with Jenny Sadler, I have been wondering how she ever sous chef for me in the kitchen to breathe because she really knows how to whip it up. But also, I've been leaning on her to do yoga online because I know I would buy into it. So if you would too, please let her know or type yes or hit like.
Yeah.
And I am an astrologer who would love to do a reading for you. I have a sliding scale. My website is structureconstructor.com. That is a tongue twister. I did not mean it to make you mad. That's what I got. Unless Davis has anything else. Thank you so much for watching. I love you. Good night. Bye-bye.